Before we get into the video, I need you guys to do me a favour. Number 1, get this video to at least 200 likes. Also comments. Let me know your thoughts on the case. 3 men who were labelled as career criminals have been jailed for their part in a systematic operation that saw Albanian immigrants be smuggled into the UK by plane. 53-year-old Richard Stiles, who acted as a pilot, was investigated by the National Crime Agency in March of 2022 after they received intel that Richard, along with 68-year-old Silvano Turchet, had set up meetings about renting a 6-seater plane from an airfield in Lincolnshire. The plane had been rented for £1,500 and then had been stored in a hangar that Silvano paid for near Colby. Now, Richard Stiles was known to police as he had previous convictions and had been jailed previously for using a plane to smuggle gear out of Belgium and also drop weed into Jersey while on the run from the previous crime. Now, for these incidents, he had served 12 years. Now, police believe that while in prison, that was how Richard and Silvano had formed a friendship. The pair, back on the outside, had also been arrested in 2017 for trying to smuggle people in Denmark. So, on March 23rd, the plane then flew to Belgium, where 4 Albanian immigrants were waiting. The deal was orchestrated by a man the NCA only know as Tim K, who was the Albanian national. Now, these men were considered career criminals because they had a long history of smuggling people into different countries. Now, it really says something about a person's character when you put people in the back of Arctics or in boats or under the carriage of a plane or a boat, for example, in adverse and inhumane conditions, and yet force these people to pay tens of thousands of pounds, now whether rightly or wrongly, to seek refuge in a different country for a better life. Anybody would do it. Now, we all know when a person is smuggled into the country, half of the people are genuine people who are at a wit's end seeking a better life, and the other half, unfortunately, are already established criminals looking to enter the country to join their brethren or exploit the system or become criminals in said country. Now, when the plane returned back to the UK the next day, the police were already waiting at the airfield. Richard Stiles, the pilot, was quickly arrested. Now, when arrested and detained, Richard says, "I normally get arrested for smuggling gear, so this feels a bit strange." Now, as for the Albanian people who were brought into the country, they were also detained by police and then passed over to immigration. The taxi driver who was waiting for the gang was Vijayakumar. He was also arrested as the 43-year-old was determined to be part of the operation also, and he also had previous convictions for, again, people smuggling. Now, his method of smuggling people was to put people in the boot of his car or taxi and then pile objects on top of them to conceal them. Now, when the case was taken to court, Richard pled guilty first. Richard was sentenced to 7.5 years. Vijayakumar was convicted by a jury, and of course he was sentenced to 4.5 years. Stay safe.